Hey guys, how's it going? How's it going? How's it going? My name is Lockie and this is Coastwood Football, and here is the round review for round 16 of the A-League men's competition. And what an exciting round of football it was. Some really close action, some late winners, and the big story coming out of this weekend is that the two top teams in the ladder at the moment, who have been up the top there for the last few weeks now, Melbourne City, Western Utd, both grabbing massively, just hugely important wins this weekend. Both picking up 3 points, which just it extends that gap. And this league, which has been so competitive and is absolutely so competitive, gaps are starting to show, and it's making it really fascinating viewing. And I see you guys tuning into the live chat now, Mariners for Life, and Cameron's in here nice and early. So good. And of course, if you're watching this, even if you're on replay, of course, would love to get your thoughts in the comments section regarding what you thought of this weekend's football and what's the reaction coming out of this weekend as well after some pretty big results. So we're going to dive into the games right now. It all kicked off on Saturday afternoon. Of course, a bit of an interesting round. There was meant to be a game in Brisbane, postponed due, of course, to the terrible weather they're experiencing up there. Round 16 kicked off here. Newcastle Jets 2, Macarthur FC 2. And look, heading into this game, I said it was going to be interesting to see whether Newcastle Jets, could pull up a result against Macarthur FC side, who were coming off a pretty impressive 4-1 win last weekend against Adelaide United. Got a pretty gritty 1-0 win away to Perth Glory and Tassie. I see Jet in the live chat as well. How's it going, Jet? So heading into this game, though, this was a really entertaining game. Really, really end-to-end, even from the start. Both teams going for it. I thought both teams were looking pretty good throughout the whole match. You can see there's Tommy Uscock, who got the first goal of the game. Towering header from Tommy Uscock, who grabs yet another goal for Macarthur FC. Becca Micheldatzi from the penalty spot. Bit of a controversial one. Lockie Rose involved. Was it a penalty? I think so. What do you guys think? I mean, his hand was just away from his body. Funnily enough, there was a similar incident involving Lockie Rose during midweek away to Perth Glory, where he handballed potentially it was a handball. That one was clearly tucked into his body, but this one for sure, there's a clear difference, right? So very easy VAR decision. Becca Micheldatzi doesn't miss the penalty, and of course the fantastic celebration. How good was the celebration from Becca Micheldatzi, showing the Ukrainian flag and showing his support with that shirt that he pulled out? It was awesome. I see Christian in the live chat who says, up the West, hey, West United, they're killing it at the moment, aren't they? Really, really doing well. We're going to talk about West United in just a sec. From there, man, I mean, 1-1 into half-time. Fantastic first half, and the second half continued in the same vein. And it started with Tommy Orr, 60th minute. What a strike. Tommy Orr does it again, man. Tommy Orr does it again. I don't know what it is, but he just knows how to smash a volley. This is just after a few weeks after he scored that cracking goal away to Central Coast Mariners. What a brilliantly taken volley here. The timing and the power, just unstoppable for Jack Duncan in the Newcastle Jets goal. That gave Bulls the lead, and I think Ante Milicic was probably disappointed that they didn't come away with 3 points, because Bulls were good in this game, as were Jets. I mean, Jets weren't bad. I thought Jordan Nelson was fantastic in defence. Thurgate working hard in midfield. Of course, we know the industry of Daniel Pena and Becca Micheldatzi. And then the own goal, 79th minute. Eli Babal, who came on off the bench, was getting up for it. I came off Liam Rose in the end. It was adjudged. But yeah, man, Shadow says this was a great game to watch from both sides. I agree. I mean, you'd argue whether maybe this is the game of the round. The game of the round, potentially, as well. What's up in the chat? Says Iggy's in the chat, says, can't wait for Sydney Derby. I know, right? Not too far away until the Sydney Derby next week as well. Speaking of Sydney FC, we're going to be talking about them in just a second. Of course, their loss against Melbourne City. But let's move on right now to Adelaide 2, Central Coast Mariners 1. And of course, my Mariners losing out, yet another late goal conceded. You can see my full match reaction up on the YouTube channel after that game if you want my full thoughts into really the Mariners side of things. But really tight game all the way through. I thought both teams were creating good chances, and a draw was probably a fair result considering the chances that both sides had. I mean, Mariners, a team who have been struggling in attack at times in recent games, managed 19 shots away to Adelaide United here, which was pretty high for them. Benny Cololo I thought was fantastic for the Mariners, but Adelaide United, I mean, one day back in midfield, he was solid. Goodwin, of course, his danger. Lockie Brook was having a good battle on that Adelaide right wing with left back Jacob Farrell. You can see here was Ibu Suki and then Kololo grabbing the goals throughout this game before Iran Kunda grabbed that late one. Man, he's 16 years old now and another A-League goal. What a superstar, man. It's look, he's a guy that has a big future, and Adelaide are so good now at producing talented young players. So it's disappointing for the Mariners. It really, really is disappointing. They'll be hoping to end this run of conceding late goals. And in the live chat, Dingo asks, "Do you think Mariners can make the finals?" Dingo, I tell you what, this weekend Mariners take on Brisbane Roar. That's a must-win game for Mariners. It's a must-win game for Mariners. If Mariners can't beat Brisbane this weekend, then there's some real concerns for this season where Mariners haven't picked up a league win. This is incredible. Mariners haven't picked up a league win. They have the longest run out of any team in the competition. Haven't picked up a league win since December 18. December 18. What's today's date right now? We're doing this live stream. February 28. It's been over 2 months since Mariners won a game in the A-League. It's remarkable. Despite some positive performances, making it to a cup final, Mariners are simply just not finding the win. So can Mariners make the finals? Yes, they still can. Plenty of football to be played, but they get a turnaround sooner rather than later. Cameron says, "Can the Reds?" Joel says, "If you look at this, I think Adelaide fourth or something, but they played 3 more games enough. Us, if the Mariners were to win that 3, that puts us only 1 point behind." Yeah, Joel, and it's a similar thing with Sydney FC. Sydney FC, who now sit in 6th place, and they're within touching distance as well. But I mean, we really have to capitalise on those catch-up games, and we've got one next week against Melbourne Victory at home midweek. Let's shuffle on to that Sydney FC fixture we'll touch on a little bit earlier. Sydney FC 1, Melbourne City 2, of course. The grand final rematch. A big one, a big game, and heading into this one, I was predicting a draw. I mean, Melbourne City have been a bit inconsistent. I mean, conceding goals. Sydney FC, we know about their inconsistencies this season. You can see that retro own goal, that 32nd minute, really unfortunate goal to concede. It was Jamie McLaren, Matthew Leckie on that counter-attack, and Retray just unlucky, super unlucky, man. Caught the rebound, goes into the back of the net, and that gave a really important lead for Melbourne City, who were able to control a decent passage of the game. I thought Sydney FC were probably the better side in that first half, though. And then in the second half, you can see that early into that second half, just 53rd minute, Milos Ninkovic putting away from close range. He doesn't miss from there. And honestly, Sydney FC, I thought from there, I mean, they brought on, Barbarousis, Bobo. They had the quality there, and they had the chances to potentially grab a second. But it was Matt Leckie stepping up big. And what about Matt Leckie? What do you guys make of Matt Leckie this season? It's really interesting because the opening 6, 7, 8 weeks, we were all just so shocked about how much he was underperforming, and he was looking really quiet, really lackluster, not really doing much at all, not scoring goals, not even getting assists. In the past month, he's really stepped it up. He's really stepped it up big time, and that's a massive goal for Melbourne City. That's a massive goal for Melbourne City because if Sydney had won this game, Sydney easily could have won this game. It would have changed a little bit the dynamic in the top 6. All of a sudden now, City are 6 points clear at the ladder. It really is remarkable as well. So, Dingo in the live chat is probably one of City's worst games of the season. We were quite lucky. There we go. Shadow says Leckie has been in a really good goal scoring form lately. Yeah, he's been doing really, really well. Hey, really, really well. Mariners for Life says, was this filmed beforehand or is this happening right now? We are live right now, my friend. Live right now. So of course, love to get your thoughts on these games in the live chat. But yes, we are live right now. This is a new thing that we're trialing, so the live round reviews. So yeah, a little bit more interactive and good to, of course, get your guys' thoughts on all these games. Hey, we're going to shuffle on now to the Perth Glory Western United game, and this was a comprehensive performance from Western United, who controlled this game from start to finish. There were some passages of play towards the end. We have to give it to Perth Glory. At times, they looked like they were going to create something, but really, goodness me, weren't creating much at all. And we did a live watch-along for this on Sunday evening, and I'm really concerned for Perth Glory. Their only saving grace is that they're returning home to Western Australia next week to play a long run of home games, which is going to be hugely important for them, and it's going to be vital that they capitalise on that run of home games and win some matches. They've only played 10 games this season, so they've still got a lot of games to catch up on. So they could make a push into the top 6. But the way they're playing is just so negative. It's a 4-1-4-1 formation and a lack of attacking players. I mean, they're playing fullbacks as wingers. They really just don't have the personnel to make it happen. In this game, they had no Andy Keogh, no Sardinero, no Daniel Sturridge, of course, who's picked up yet another injury during midweek. But enough about Perth Glory. Western United, well and truly title contenders now. If they weren't already before, they've done it yet again. They've proven it is not a fluke. This clean sheet, the defenses, and what they're doing to opposition teams, it really is impressive. It really, really is impressive. Shadow says West United showed that they are the real deal in this match. They beat Perth pretty easily in the end. Joel says, good to see A-League matches here in Tasmania, but like no crowds. I mean, it was a bit of a tricky one, isn't it? Trying to get if there's you wouldn't think there's that many Perth fans in Tassie, but I understand your sentiment, Joel. We would love to see would love to see more fans there for sure. 2 goals though. Prijovic, Dylan Parias, both were fantastic in this game. Lockie Wales, really good. Kilkenny controlling things against his former team. Topper Stanley, how about that run to Zeta Privic's goal? Fantastic. Josh Risdon, I said it in the live watch along, and I'll say it again now, needs to be selected for the Socceroos next month. Is it a big call? I don't know, maybe. I don't think it is. But, I mean, Ryan Grant got selected last month? Josh Risdon's playing miles ahead of Ryan Grant at the moment. Josh Risdon has been so good every single game this season. He's made such an impact and playing with such effort, especially for a player who has had an injury-riddled career, it has to be said. He's playing with such consistency right now, and I think it would be absolutely incredible I'd be dumbfounded if Graham Arnold didn't pick him for the national team for the qualifiers coming up next month. Josh Risdon is the best right back in the league by quite some distance. What do you guys make of that? I mean, a lot of people in the live chat in the watch along agreed with me in that one during that one. So yeah, but West United, Melbourne City, these two teams who are just pulling away now, and now we have to ask our question: are both these teams the two title contenders for this season? Of course, Melbourne Victory Brisbane Roar didn't get to play this weekend. Wanderers and Wellington, the 2 games postponed, so a bit of a short around this one, but still. We have to look at City. We have to look at Western. And for me, it is Western who is still, they deserve to be top of the ladder. And they're ahead by 1 point on the ladder. But on top of that, they're also got a game in hand on Melbourne City, who are just behind them. It really is fascinating stuff to see who's going to be able to pull away. Are West United going to be able to keep this up for the whole season? I'm pretty sure, they've almost played everyone now. There's a few teams that they haven't played yet. They haven't played Mariners. They haven't played Jets. But look, Western United, man. We got to watch him, man. Christian in the live chat says the reason Risdon didn't make the Roos side last month because he didn't play at all in January. Is that true? Is that true that he didn't play at all in January? I don't think he's missed a game for Western this season, but there was obviously that period where a lot of teams weren't playing at all. So maybe Christian that could be it during a lot of that COVID break there as well. So. Unless that was potentially it as well. But, a player who just, for me, has just been performing so well this season, and I stand by what I said, the best right back in the league. Hey, guys, I'm going to show you this now, and this is what I usually post across the socials, and I'll pull it up right now on the screen. Here we go. This is my team of the week for this week, and we're going to run through this in the round review. So here we go. I'll pull it up on the screen here. I'll expand it out so you can see. I've got Jamie Young in goals. There weren't necessarily many goalkeeping performances that were that incredible. I thought Jack Duncan made some decent saves, Philip Curto in that Macarthur Jets game. But Jamie Young, just to keep that clean sheet, so solid once again. Only made a few saves in this game, but important leadership at the back. I thought Daryl Latchman, despite Perth Glory underperforming, Daryl Latchman has been so consistent this season. If you watch him, his ability to win one-on-one duels is really remarkable. As I mentioned earlier, I was really impressed with Jordan Elsey. With Jordan Elsey, I thought he's very good for the Jets. And then, of course, Nikolai Topper-Stanley. When he has come in for West United, he's performed really, really well. And that assist for the Prijovic goal, fantastic. Benny and Kalolo, I'm a Mariners fan. I don't often put Mariners players in the team of the week. There haven't been that many that have really, been the shining lights. During the weeks, but Benny and Kalolo I thought was really impressive for the Mariners. It was a threat the entire game, especially in that second half. Some really good chances. Could have had 2 or 3 goals. Mustafa Amini, I think, is looking really good. He's getting really comfortable once again to the A-League in his second stint here. Neil Kilkenny, as I mentioned, pulling the strings for West United in midfield. Craig Goodwin, of course, always dangerous for Adelaide United. His penalty was saved in that first half by Mark Birigi, of course. But yeah, man. Denzel in the live chat says, who is your sleeper player to watch for the remainder of the season? Interesting question. Depends what you define by sleeper player. What's your definition of that? I guess a player, and he's not on the team list here. I almost put him in the team of the week, but Alexander Prijovic, I think, has been very good for West United, and a player who could make a late push for the Golden Boot race. I think he's got 5 goals this so far this season for the A-League, in the A-League competition for Western. Joel says, I was so critical of Nkololo until last week or so. Yeah, dude, Joel, we're on the same boat. I was the same. If you see some of my previous match reactions, I was really critical of Ben Nkololo. I thought he was looking really shaky and not up to A-League standard. It was a bit worrying. But the City game, that fantastic goal that he scored, and then this Adelaide game, gets on the score sheet once again, lovely finish, and was just looking so confident on the ball, was playing with real class. So Benny Cololo has to be starting week in, week out for the Mariners. You can see my front three there. Dylan Parias, fantastic. I think he had a total of 6 shots across this game, scored 1, just a constant threat down that right-hand side. Ulysses De Villa, always a classy player. He was the key man for Macarthur FC, grabbing a point away from Newcastle Jets, an important point for Macarthur FC. And Matt Leckie, I put him up through the middle there. He was playing out wide, but once again, just to come up clutch with that goal, Matt Leckie, those kind of goals are gonna help you win premierships, to get those big wins against top 6 rivals, especially away from home. Danza says sleeper, just many under the radar, but likely to come to life later part of the season. Yeah, I think Privic fits that bill. I think Alexander Privic started the season pretty quietly. Like he wasn't really starting many games for a little bit there, but last week against Wanderers, this week against Perth Glory, he's looking the real deal. And some people likened him in the live chat, in the live watch long last night to Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and he sort of looks like him, the way he's got like the bun. So keep an eye out for Alexander Privic for sure. Barry B asks the question, do you think the Mariners will bounce back? I'm hoping so, man, and I think so. There's enough there to show that they will. Mariners aren't by any means, performing terribly. Mariners have been in every single game for the last few weeks. Haven't been losing by more than 1 goal. I mean, there's only been 1 game this season away to Melbourne City where Mariners lost by more than 1 goal. The Mariners have been in it and have been looking good. Feb in the live chat says Apostolos Giannou for my sleeper. Yeah, Giannou again got his first goal last weekend against Adelaide. So Apostolos Giannou, another striker who could show up. I mean, I'm just having to think here. Who else maybe we could see? I mean, Benny Cololo is maybe a good example as well. It was just talking about pretty quiet in the early parts of the season, but my goodness, last couple of weeks he stepped up too. So keeping up for Benny and Cololo for the mighty Central Coast Mariners. But guys, thanks so much for tuning into this live round review. Let me know if this is something that you would like to see done more, and I think it's much more enjoyable for me because I get the live reaction from you guys in the chat, and of course if you're watching on replay, we'd love to get your thoughts down in the comments section below. So of course every week on Mondays we do the round review, on the Thursdays we do the round predictions preview video for the upcoming round, so we're going to be doing a live stream for that as well at 5:30. So we'd love to hear your feedback if you'd like to see these done as live streams so you can get involved and we can discuss live here, because I'm reading your comments live here. And yeah, man. We've got a few more chats coming in here in the live chat. Joel says the problem with being in a game is that it doesn't necessarily mean getting points. 100%, Joel. 100%. And that's been the problem for the Mariners, where like some of the performances have been good there, and I think defensively we've been good. But you're right, Joel. I mean, not taking the chances as a Mariners fan, not taking the chances is really costing Central Coast at the moment, and it needs to change. Feb says the Japanese striker at Adelaide is also another sleeper. Yeah, Hiroshi Ibusuki, man. He's already got 3 goals in the A-League. He's starting consistently now for the Reds. If he continues to get good service from players like Craig Goodwin, Lockie Brooks, Zach Clough now, so there's potential for, again, Ibusuki to chase up the Golden Boot race. Of course, it is the likes of McLaren, Mekaldetsi leading the Golden Boot charge. But the 3 strikers that we've talked about here, Privic, Giannou, and Ibusuki from 3 different clubs there, all could make a push towards the later part of the season. Guys, once again, thanks so much for tuning in to this live round review. I'll see you on Thursday, Arvo, 5:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time for the round 17 predictions. That should be a whole lot of fun. Hopefully get you there in the live chat, and we'd love to hear your thoughts. My name's Lockie. This is Coastwood Football. If you have enjoyed, make sure you hit the like button. It helps me out so much. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Danzel says, just want to say the show rocks. Keep up the great work. Danzel, thank you, man. Have a great week. See you in the